Right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on another episode of The Truth with Ben Jokes, your number one political talk show. I felt so sad after I stumbled on a comment from Edo State Governor Monday AKPABIO regarding the recent killing of 16 Fulanis in Uromi, Edo State. Look at it. Uromi killings aimed at casting my government in bad light. With this statement, this man who is supposed to be the chief security advisor of that state has just proven that he has no business with the feelings of the people, let alone work to protect their lives. The people have been repeatedly attacked and killed by Fulanis over the years. What happened in Uromi was an act of self-defense, so to speak, after many deadly attacks by Fulanis on the people, but the governor said it was done to discredit his administration. Fulani killing Edo people does not discredit your government, AKPABIO. It is when Edo people kill Fulanis that your government is discredited. This is so sad. We live in a country governed by a political cult group called APC that has signed the lives of the citizens out to killer headsmen. And few hours ago, a report came out that Tinubu had sacked the MD of the NNPC, Mele Kyari. And that sack was met by mixed reactions by Nigerians. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, the update on the April 7th protest began making the rounds. Nigerians from north, south, east, and west are tired of the oppression by bad governance and suppression of free speech by the political elites, and they have decided to hit the streets starting April 7th in a revolution protest against the Tinubu regime. This is a continuation of the End Bad Governance protest which took place in August last year, and it is only a matter of time before the ultimate revolution kicks in. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you these videos.
16 Dengons. What I know about hunting, and I've gone on hunting expedition many times. You hunt in the bush in your locality. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think you also said it. I've never heard of traveling many state lines to go and hunt somewhere. It's normally around your locality. Also, where the role of the government comes in, prior to this time, there has been a constant, repetitive action of kidnappers in Uromi. Uromi, around the Ubiaja area, around that Irua area, up till Ikeke. Most of those axes have been inundated by cases of kidnapping. And I know those axes because I traveled around there and I know. And the government had not done anything to stem the tide. Hence, even people now trusting the vigilante. Because people trusting the vigilante that have now gone high-handedness, that have now, perpetrated this in a high-handed way, it's a reflection of the fact that the security services of the state have failed. So, please, help us juxtapose those scenarios. Hunting in a bus, 16 guns, and an area that was initially inundated by kidnappers. What should we have done better? And how, after those perpetrating these heinous acts are brought to book, what should be done to stem the tide of kidnapping in all of these areas?
Thank you very much, Rufai. You made a valid point, 16 guns, but let's look at it from the other perspective. Kidnappers will not bundle themselves into a commercial bus and put their guns as cargo while traveling. Basic interrogation, where are you coming from? We are coming from Port Harcourt, Elele. Where are you going to? We are going to Kano. What are you going to do? We are going for Salah. So what are you doing with these guns? We are hunters. We went to hunt. Even if the story is not credible, at least they have something to say and you could hear them. Hand over for investigation to verify the claims. I am happy you have condemned the killings. It is not justifiable. But a tragedy has happened, and we need to look at it vis-a-vis the previous happenings in that axis.
You heard that. Rufai Hussaini there calling a spade a spade. One of the most meaningful takes I have heard so far on these Uromi killings just came in there from Rufai Hussaini. God bless you, Rufai. This is how a normal human being should reason on this issue of Uromi killings. We condemn jungle justice. Yes, I have done that for the 18th time on this channel here. But you can't place the lives of 16 above the hundreds of lives that have been taken in that same Uromi. You neglect, you ignore their protest and call for defense and justice. But now you are jumping on this as if you are a good man who knows what to do. But it was the next video here that gave an aspect of the killing in Uromi that Nigerians have not heard of. The narrative all along has been that Vigilante just saw travelers and then they began searching them. They found Dane guns, so they proceeded to burning them, to lynching them. That is what we have been hearing, but that wasn't exactly the case. It was the so-called travelers who first attacked a member of the Vigilante, who stabbed a member of the Vigilante, and that was what led to the altercation that eventually got the 16 killed. And that was according to the testimony of Major General Cecil Esakaigbe in this video. Take a look.
Must sensitize the people to know that they have come to do legitimate business and not, this underground movement. And you must know your environment. If people flock in to say they want to work with you, do you know their identity? Have you processed them to know whether they are genuine or not, or whether they are hiding under the canopy of, cattle rearing to cause mayhem? So the leaders of the community themselves should be alive to their responsibilities. If you allow people to come and wreck house and say they pay you homage or whatever, you must let them know that there are laws that are governing, that environment. And the police too has to be very proactive when these issues happen. Those people that did that, let me also correct one impression here. It was not a one-sided thing that happened in Uromi. Right. When these people were stopped, they said they were going to go in to search the vehicle because they had local information that they were actually carrying arms. So in the process of struggling to go inside, one of them stabbed one of the Vigilante guys. So in the process of that, hell was let loose. But that is not justifying the action because it's condemnable, and taking another person's life unjustly is not part of our, culture in that area where we come from.
You heard that. When we say that the APC is complicit in insecurity in Nigeria, we know what we are saying. It is okay to come out immediately to condemn jungle justice. That is the appropriate thing to do. But for the state governor, an APC state governor, and even Tinubu not to care about getting the facts of a national tragedy, then you should know that there is an agenda. And the agenda is that Fulanis must be allowed to wreak havoc on innocent Nigerians as long as you remain in office, whether you are a governor or you are the president. That is what is playing out here. That is why they have successfully covered up the fact that it was one of the 16 Fulanis who first attacked that Vigilante member. The Fulani stabbed one of the Vigilante members as he moved to search the truck, and that gave them out already. And don't tell me that if they were kidnappers, they wouldn't have boarded commercial vehicles. That is the dumbest thing to say. We see these things happening every day. Nobody should gaslight us. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that update from Aso Rock, Tinubu sacking the NNPC boss. And next is that update on Nigerians warming up for a mega end bad governance protest on April 7th. Let's start by taking that update on the sacking of the NNPC boss. Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking: Tinubu sacks NNPC CEO Mele Kyari. Board appoints Bayo Ojulari. Sahara reporters: Bola Tinubu has approved a reconstitution of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited board, removing the chairman, Chief Pius Akinyelure, and the group chief executive officer Mele Kyari. Spokesman Bayo Ononuga in a statement said Tinubu removed all other board members appointed with Akinyeleru and Kyari in November 2023. The new 11-man board has Engineer Bashir Bayo Ojulari as the group CEO and Adamu Musa Kida as non-executive chairman. Ononuga said Adedapo Shegun, who replaced Umaru Issa Ajia as the chief financial officer last November, has been appointed to the new board by Tinubu. All the appointments are effective today, April 2. The Tinubu administration targets raising oil production to 2 million barrels daily by 2027 and 3 million daily by 2030. Concurrently, the government wants gas production jacked to 8 billion cubic feet daily by 2027 and 10 billion cubic feet daily by 2030. We hope you will not be there by then, by the special grace of God. Now, they may say all these things to make it look as if they actually did this reshufflement, sacking, and replacements because they want this country to move forward, because they actually want to improve the sector. But I cannot be fooled. The appointment alone already says it. It is nepotic, it is tribalistic, and he has done it for his own selfish ends. And this tweet here says, renewed Shege. He will eventually replace all northern Nigerian candidates with Yoruba candidates. Nice payback, following Buhari's footsteps like he promised. That is it. And Adekola here says, so una think say this sacking is for us to enjoy feel, or because Kyari is incompetent, Kurubu is taking charge, putting his dogs everywhere. By the time he's done with Nigerians and Nigeria, una go learn. And Ibrahim here says, appointments. They claim Buhari was all about the north. At least it was northwest, northeast, and north central. Your southern president only sees Yorubas as southerners. That is it. And we cannot run away from the fact that's exactly what this guy has said. It is beginning to look as if Buhari's appointments were even, more spread out. It covered more zones than Tinubu. Tinubu is only fixated on the southwest, and it's such a shame. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update on Nigerians gearing up and gathering momentum for the April 7th End Bad Governance protest began making the rounds. Let's take the various pointers to that protest. Now, this protest is actually taking the same path that the End Bad Governance protest in August last year took. It began on social media. Everything was cooked on social media. And when the day of the protest came, the streets were filled with angry Nigerians. The only difference in this case is that the notice is shorter than that of the End Bad Governance protest. It took 30 days to prepare, about 30 days to prepare for the End Bad Governance protest. But in this case, the notice is just about 5 days. And many have argued that it is even better. That unlike the End Bad Governance protest, this one is going to take the political class unaware. AKPABIO here says, take a stand. Join us on April 7th. As we take a stand against oppression, demand the repeal of the Cybercrime Act. Of course, there is a Cybercrime Act that is being sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko and one or two other senators trying, to suppress free speech. A lot of things in that act, how your tweets will be monitored, your Facebook post and TikTok, everything will be monitored, basically trying to prevent Nigerians from speaking up against the evil of this administration. And that was what this guy was saying there. And Duke of Motherland here says, anywhere you are on this day, you must be on the streets. And he shared the location here. He said, this one is Bauchi. This is for Bauchi. The location in Bauchi, time 8 a.m., conference point, Sabon Kaura Junction, opposite Unit College. That is the location for Bauchi. There's a location for Maiduguri here. He said Convergence Point, State Assembly Roundabout, 7:50 a.m. That is the location for Maiduguri. Tolawi here says Rivers is not dulling. Time 7 a.m. Convergence Point, Isaac Borough Park, Port Harcourt. Even with the state of emergency in Rivers State, the people of Rivers State are going to protest. And there are a host of, convergence points here. In Abuja, it says time 8 a.m. Convergence points, National Assembly, Abuja. Wow, that will really be one to look out for. will look out to see a situation whereby Nigerians will occupy the National Assembly. And then there's a location here. He said, Old Airport Road, roundabout. This is Jos. 7 a.m. is the convergence time. And there is another location here for Ibadan. Time, 8 a.m. Convergence point, Iwo Road, Ibadan. That is in Oyo State. It is expected to be a national shutdown. And we cannot look down on protests like this, because when we are talking about a revolution, this is how it is going to begin. We all know that it is exactly what this country needs to get out of this quagmire. We have begged, we have pleaded, we have counseled the political class to pity Nigerians and do what is right, but they have blatantly refused. And we have been told by a lot of political elites that if Nigerians want true democracy, they will have to come out and get it. And it begins with moves like this. This is how the various revolutions that have transformed nations all around the world began. Who knows? It could just be a trigger. Something may just happen at the venue of the protest, and the people would decide to take it to another level and occupy all the state houses in Nigeria. Personally, I would have preferred that the meeting point should be all the state houses in the 36 states of the federation. Block all the governors, including the ones that are performing, and then go to National Assembly or go to the State House. That is how Nigerians should come out, to let these people know that we are ready to take our country back. And we are going to keep you posted to see how all these unfolds. We hope that one day Nigerians will be able to be proud of the country of their birth. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away.